everyone!
Hello.
Welcome to a very special episode of our podcast where we are filming in the exact same room as each other.
I know, crazy, right? We finally did it.
Guys, crazy concept. Filming a podcast in the same room is significantly better than over Discord.
Yeah, and we're doing a lot of other things different too. Like, we learned a lot from our previous podcast. By the way, the name of the podcast?
The Games Cabinet. Why don't you know the name of our podcast?
You didn't introduce it.
Okay,
You're gonna have to
listen. Hey.
We're having a great start here. And speaking of great starts, and speaking of things we've learned from last time, so we listened it back. We got a better mic.
That
For
only
sure.
one of us is going to have by the end of this.
Well, my audio quality sounded horrible on the thing, so I went back and
Yeah.
I immediately went to Best Buy after and got myself a new mic.
And you still don't know how to use it considering you're all the way over there.
Don't worry about it.
I will worry about it because I have to worry about the audio.
Audio nerd.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, with our pleasantries out of the way, we'll get to the topic of this second episode.
Boundary setting in an RPG format. Well, boundary setting in... Yeah.
And safety rules, right?
Yes.
That was another thing. Yeah. So I want to start this off with a story, if that's okay.
Go for it.
All right. So on RPG horror stories on Reddit, great place where we find all of our good ideas for the podcast videos. There is a horror story, as you expect. It's just people posting the cringe stories of people who play different RPGs, mainly D&D. And one of them said, "Hey, I went to an Adventurers League game, or like a pop-up D&D game in a store, and okay, we're gonna do our first safety tool here. Trigger warnings. It's gonna be sexual assault coming up. Just for a heads up." They brought them to in the game basically that the DM was running. The DM put all the characters into basically a breeding factory. Literal exact words, breeding factory, and made them unable to act while things were being done to them.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So, and afterwards, obviously the player got up and left after that, along with someone else, and they were both kind of disgusted about what had happened. And if you want to read more into what's, I'm being very light on details for our listeners who might not want to hear this, but I'm sure we'll put something in the description for people who are morbidly curious.
It's terrible, terrible links.
Horrible links, just the worst. But yeah, those are the ideas that we're talking about. So I think, the idea that he wanted, at least at the start of I'm going to definitely assume it's a him, as the dungeon master for that game, and what he wanted was, as he said in the horror story, was that he wanted a dark, realistic game like Game of Thrones. He specifically mentions Game of Thrones.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones. I don't think there's a breeding factory in it, though.
No, but there are atrocities.
Well, yeah, but I don't
know, whatever.
like. I feel like the words realistic and Game of Thrones doesn't exactly,
Yeah, okay,
line
well,
up.
true. It's like realistic and fantasy-ish, like.
Well, yes, but also, and hear me out. What's realistic about a breeding factory? Hear me out. What's realistic about a breeding factory?
Realistic in the sense that, like, it follows the rules of our world. Like, there's not that much magic in Game of Thrones.
Boo.
Yeah, well, that's just not your vibe, but I guess. But anyway, just saying,
You guys can't see it, but I'm giving him a thumbs down
Yeah,
in his face.
I'm very sad. So yeah, the so the question today we have is how do we prevent things like this from happening where people walk up and are uncomfortable, so uncomfortable, and they dislike the game the entire time, and then they just leave because they're just so uncomfortable.
And also how to like avoid that kind of stuff in the first place.
Exactly, right.
Not just like, and also while it's happening, and like how you don't have to stay there for very long.
Exactly. So I think the first question I think people are gonna, at least I would have when I first heard some of these safety tips was why do we have these? And I want your opinion first. So why do you think we safety rules are kind of important for role playing games?
Well, firstly, for like situations like that, because every so often you come across a weird group of people who just have very strange tastes, and sometimes you don't vibe with it, and sometimes it's very harmful for your mentality to be involved in that kind of stuff. And also, I feel like it kind of garners a more welcoming environment to like at least talk to your players beforehand about like things they're comfortable with, because like th- I know that some people have like extreme phobias of like certain creatures. So like the way I try to think of it is like the arachnophobia mode in a lot
Oh,
of
so
games.
you, some
Listen,
people being you.
listen. Shut up. You know how like some games have like arachnophobia mode where like spider enemies get like changed into like blobs,
Rats or
or,
something like
or
that
like a
even.
different enemy,
Yeah.
or like just the word spider.
Honestly, that would freak me out more. I think Lethal Company has something like that.
I think it
As
is
a
lethal.
mod, there's a mod
Yeah.
that does that. That freak me out more. Honestly,
Why?
the word spider.
Yeah, it's just the word.
I don't know. I don't know
What?
because
No,
it's not
explain
supposed to
this.
be there. It doesn't make sense. It's like Safina Delgado. Like the it's just like a face coming out. You'll see. I'll I'll show you something after this. But like just something that's not supposed to be there. We're getting off topic. The so yeah. I mean everything you said right. We want to create a welcoming space.
Mm-hmm.
But also like if I'm running a game, I'm talking to all my people who are like, why do I need safety rules? They're restricting me. That's something I kind of thought of too when I was like when I heard these first of all. I remember the first time I went to a convention, I was playing Vampire the Masquerade for like one of the first times. And I remember like they went through a lot of these safety tips and I was like, this is restricting what game I want to have. I want to have a very serious game.
Oh, tiny baby edge lord.
I know Mom
Tiny
was a
baby
big
edge
edge lord,
lord.
but and something I found of a good point that was like makes that as actually a pretty good point is that it doesn't restrict the games we can play. It actually allows us to explore mature themes in a way that making to make sure everyone has fun. Because if we're not having fun, there's no point in us playing, right?
Yeah.
And if you're together with the group, as part of your job as a dungeon master or games master, especially, is to have make sure all your other players have fun. And
Yeah.
if any one of your players aren't having fun, then you're not doing your job as a dungeon master or as a fellow player in the game, making sure everyone is having fun, including yourself, right?
Yeah.
And people have certain traumas and maybe just bad experiences with things that you might not know about.
Mm-hmm.
And if you bring that up, they might be okay with it, but that you just can't tell, and that might be something that you can't you can't predict.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's better to err on the side of caution, make sure people are okay with your games.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, so let's just do more
It's kind of like
serious
how
games.
when we did the I want to say module because that doesn't sound right, but when we did Lovers in the Ice for Delta Green, and you brought up the fact that there would be like themes of sexual assault, but when we got into it, it was more of like instead of being like realistic themes of sexual assault, it was more so in the form of face hugger sexual assault.
Yeah, spoilers for Delta Green if you're running that module.
Spoilers for Lovers in the Ice.
Yeah, but then I could be very grotesque about how the face hugger in that game did its thing, and I would know that everyone there was okay with that because we had priorly agreed to it, which actually brings us to our first safety tip. So, first thing I'd recommend is things to do before the game. This is honestly just prep goes such a long way to helping out.
Yeah.
And the first thing I would say is it's good to do something called a session zero, not just for safety tips, but just for like everything in general. And for those who are maybe unfamiliar with what session zero is, it's a session where you decide where you go with other people, all the players and the DM in the game, and you make a character. And usually people use that time to the GM will use that time to discuss like this is the game system, this is the world, etc. And you all make a character together, and then people usually use those times as well to um, make relationships like within the part within whatever group you're in.
Like connections.
Exactly. It's not like you meet up to play a game, hence why it's called session zero. It's
Mm-hmm.
before session one when you play the game.
Yeah.
And this is actually one of the best times if you are meeting beforehand with a group. This is one of the best times to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the stuff you can do? Um, so first thing is the things you can do in session zero. First thing is you can have everyone. The DM can just say, "Hey, this is the world." Like, okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and I'm going to assume that I am this breeding factory guy, right? Obviously, I would never run a game that's
If you do,
like
I'm
that.
gonna kill you.
It would, I mean, it just doesn't even sound like fun. It just sounds awful. But if I were running this like a Game of Thrones type game, I would need to tell my players ahead of time, hey, this is the kind of game I'm running, and these are the themes in it. Themes including, in that case, sexual assault, slavery, things like that, right? And yeah. And I would need to tell them, I would tell everyone ahead of time, hey, these are the themes of the game. If you don't want them, then, I mean, it's up to you. Like, it's up to the group. But I would say, like, if people should be okay to raise up their concerns, and you should just say, I am not going to, those themes will not be present, right?
Yeah.
And if it's like, you know, and if it's a pivotal theme to that group, I would say maybe that might be that might not be a nice group fit, which happens, right?
Yeah.
Not every RPG is for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, yeah. So have you had like kind of those experiences with the session zero? Did we use those times to?
Mm, I mean, it really depends on uh, the game master, because sometimes they'll do it even before a session zero. Because, like, I've had people who've sent, like, Discord messages of, like, a discrete, like, sheet that you can fill out of, like, here are your trigger warnings, here are your, like, do not cross types of lines, here are the things that you're, like, okay with mentioning, but just, like, not getting too much into. And like pretty much just setting boundaries before you even get to meet with the group. And then once you meet up with the group, you'll already have those like boundaries set. And like, here's what we are absolutely not doing, guys. Here's the things we can only just vaguely mention. Here's what's on the table, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, and that could be a good thing as well for introducing an RPG, or if you're just putting a post online for looking for players, just put it in there. Just put it in, hey, these are the themes of the game. And if you don't like these themes or are uncomfortable with them, then you don't go up for the posting.
Yeah, because like you could also just decide not to do the game if you know what the themes are. Like if you know for certain these are gonna be this, that, and the other of the game. Like when you brought up the triggers for Delta Green, and you were like, if this makes you uncomfortable, we can do something completely different. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Although I did mess up something with that Delta Green game in terms of the safety.
What'd you do?
Um, for you and one other player, I did uh, say those safety warnings because I felt like you were more likely to be more uncomfortable. But two of the other players, um, I did not ask those questions, which is actually a bad thing. Don't do that.
Do not
Do as I say, not as I do.
do not follow in this guy's lead. He's secretly evil.
Yeah, but one of them is my brother, so I have a good sense of what he's comfortable and not comfortable with.
I don't know, man. You bully your brother.
Yeah, well, he deserves it. So yeah, that's actually something I did incorrectly, and actually might bring us to a another thing we can do as well. Yeah, actually one of the things you mentioned, the waivers, the discrete waivers. Sometimes people don't want to directly mention that they are uncomfortable by something.
Yeah.
So if you're in a group of people, it might be a good idea just the GM to say, "Hey, I need to know this because I need to know what what you're uncomfortable with and things like that. But I will not share this with the group."
Mhm.
Right? Or, you do the thing where you take five papers, shuffle them up, and you just read them like that, like you see what people are okay with. And it's good for people who um, they don't want to be maybe judged for something that they feel like might happen, or not might happen, but like how people might perceive them
Yeah.
if they're uncomfortable by something, or
Yeah.
if they don't want to be like, if you see as a DM essentially that you have a player or someone who might be judgmental of people of someone um, for maybe restricting the game, so to speak. I'm doing air quotes, right? Because we're not restricting here. For restricting the game, then it might be a good idea to do that, just to make sure that everyone's okay, because they might not be comfortable with talking out loud in front of that player who's
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that the case in your game?
Sorry, I'm trying to.
What game was it, by the way?
Which one?
With the waiver that you signed.
Uh, ah, yes. There's absolutely no one like that. Yeah. Okay. So
What was the game? That was not the question. What was the game?
most recent one.
Delta Green?
No.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I see.
D&D.
So the most recent game you've been running, so it's still going, right?
Yeah. Still going.
Well, you have a game soon, so
We're,
within a week,
I'm sorry we haven't been able to meet up, guys.
if they're listening.
Guys, no, I'm sending this to the group chat. It's fine. I'm making them listen.
Nice. Yeah, just put your apology in here.
Yeah.
But
Permanent
yeah,
apology.
that's good. I know the DM for that game. He's a very experienced
Yeah.
dungeon master, game master. I game mastered for him as well, so I know all his
Glazing.
right. So he's good too. Sorry,
Glazing.
glazing.
Bros glazing. Oh no.
What's that?
Oh no.
What does that mean?
I'll explain to you internet speak after, baby. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
Don't worry.
I'm very old.
Yes.
But yeah,
Grandpa over here.
okay. I guess you guys can just use Google to look that up. But anyways, off topic. But anyways, off topic. Yeah. So that's another thing. So that's a tool to help if someone might be a little um, not too comfortable with showing it as well, or if you think that might happen. And another thing as well is actually, so that's stuff you can do before a game. You can do the waiver, you could do that, and another thing you can do, I guess now we'll move on to what you can do during the game, right? And I guess partially we'll talk about something else that is actually pretty popular in the RPG space, something that's called lines and veils. Now, you don't know what this means,
No,
right?
you have told me nothing about this
Okay.
specifically, so you can explain it.
So remember, we're not restricting gameplay here, right? We are trying to make sure that we can tell a mature story in a way that everyone is in which ways everyone is comfortable. So on that point, let's say that I am not comfortable with, let's just say, violence in general. Let's say I'm playing like, um, I'm not playing a typical like game where the violence is the point, like combat is the point, like D&D. Let's say I'm playing a game like Fiasco, right? And I am not comfortable with the topic of violence in general,
Gotcha.
but I am not completely unopposed to there being violence in the game. So I just don't want it. I just don't want it to be the focus.
Gotcha.
So that's where the idea of lines and veils come in. So if I say, hey, combat can be present, but I don't want it to be focused, I'm going to set that as a veil, and so meaning that I don't want to be brought attention to, and if it does happen, I'm going to so-called pan to fireplace, which is a basically a reference to in movies and games when two people are having romance, they usually don't focus the camera on it. They pan to the fireplace, and it is implied what is happening.
Gotcha.
Whereas lines don't happen at all.
Yeah, so like lines in the sand, I guess.
Yeah, lines in the sand, right? Lines you do not cross.
Yeah,
Veils, like you just veil it over.
you put a curtain over it.
Exactly. So now you know what those are.
Yippee!
And the final thing is actually something I get from the game Fiasco, which is why I brought it up, the topic of the X card. Now, completely out of the blue, what do you think that is?
Uh, card with X, you go no, and when something happens, you
Yes.
don't. Oh,
Yeah, actually. It's
oh,
pretty self explanatory, actually. Yeah, exactly.
I got it right, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, an X card is basically when you put it in the center of the table, and if you're in a group of people and you say as the DM, if something happens that you don't like, hey, like maybe like you messed up and maybe went too far, or maybe someone just feels that they didn't realize that there's something they're actually uncomfortable with
Mhm.
until this moment, which is
Yeah.
fine, safety first, right?
Yeah.
Just because they realize it a bit wrong doesn't mean we should fault them for it.
Yeah. Safe words exist for a reason.
Exactly. X card is basically your safe word. You just tap any player can just tap the X card and you move on from the scene, or you stop altogether,
Yeah.
right? And you maybe decompress, come back, whatever the situation is. And um, obviously, you guys, you don't have to talk about it as much as you want to, right? So if they just say, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to talk about why I'm uncomfortable,
Yeah.
right? Then part of being a responsible gamer and, friend is saying, okay, fine, right? Like,
Yeah. Like sometimes you don't want to tell the story. Sometimes you might want to like educate people on like, hey, this is why I'm uncomfortable about this. But a lot of people are like, hey, don't ask, don't worry about it. Just keep it moving. Don't worry about it. Stop looking at me like that. It's all good. And
yeah,
sometimes you get weird looks, and that's okay.
exactly. And that's fine. And, there's no price too high to being uncomfortable, right?
Hmm.
Or for being comfortable, right? And having fun,
Yeah,
because it's a game,
yeah.
right? As we're going to say, keep saying back and over again.
It's just a game. Why are you
It's
mad?
not just a game. Excuse you, it is a game. Game is life. But yeah, that's the that's the kind of topics we have for before and during. But let's talk about, let's say something happens. Like, okay, let's say that something happens, and I'm in a Game of Thrones type game that's very uh, brutal and it has all these mature themes, and I'm uncomfortable, and someone does something I don't like. So what do you do as a DM who maybe you misspoke or something like that, or see another player doing it, and what do you do as the player who is offended? So I'll go ahead and bring it to you first. What do you think?
That was a lot. That was a
Sorry,
lot.
what would you do if, as the DM,
Hmm.
if you maybe misspoke or you saw another player who was offending another player, and what would you do as the player who was offended?
Bless you. Uh, okay. As a DM, um, okay, cause like in real life, guys, crazy concept. I'm real bad with social cues. Crazy
But let's
concept.
say you did notice it.
Uh, I'd probably shut up. You know, I'd be like, whoa, pause, backpedal. You good? First and
This
foremost.
feels like a drug PSA where like you show the thing of like the guy social pressure, he takes the drugs and then this and then
One drug, please.
yeah, and then the second one there's like no, drugs are not cool and they go ding 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 correct. You look up the before image for the drug commercial.
What?
Before.
I'm gonna beat him up, guys. Guys, I'm gonna beat him up. No.
What would you okay, let's put it like this. What if you were offended by a someone did?
I'd be like, hey, man, that's not cool.
Okay, now this really sucks. Sounds like a drug PSA. You really took that to heart, didn't you?
Yeah. Uh, I, I'm not very confrontational, and I might be putting, I don't want to say words in people's mouth, more so lack of. I feel like quite a few people aren't very confrontational, so it's gonna be a little more difficult to be like, hey, that hurt my feelings.
Yeah, and this is something we're really trying to avoid here of like what the worst thing that could happen is you offend someone gets really uncomfortable, but they don't feel like they can speak up about it, so they just shut up. And then that
Yeah.
player at that point for at least a little bit after and like maybe for the rest of the session, maybe for the rest of the campaign with regards to that player that offended them, they're just not going to have fun with that player anymore,
Yeah.
right? So that's thing one. We just don't, and they're just going to be quiet, but they're just going to be quiet and they're just going to let it go by. And
They're
that's what
gonna let
we're
it
really,
simmer.
exactly, that's what we're really trying to avoid here
Yeah.
as a GMs, as players, things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so, but what you can do um, if you do have that happen is just say, as as politely but firmly, right? As an old-fashioned person like me would say, politely but firmly tell the person like, hey, what you can't change the fact that you did it. Maybe we can retcon, right? You
Yeah.
can't change the fact that you said that you were going to do it. Maybe you can retcon.
Mhm.
Um, but for right now, but just make sure not to do it again,
Yeah.
politely but firmly.
Yeah.
And the best thing I guess you could. This is a bad like. Usually you want to get this done before or like during a game, but like after it's been done, it's kind of like damage control at that point. Something we're trying to avoid. The
Mhm.
best thing you could probably do as a player, if you're really comfortable and like the player should defend themselves, honestly, do the. I hate that I'm gonna. I hate this. I'm gonna say it, but do the breeding story.
Leave.
Leave, right?
Leave.
GTFO,
Get out. You're
right?
allowed to. It's
If
okay.
right, and like best case scenario, that's not a good group fit. Worst case scenario, you got a hit RPG horror story like on your that just happened to you.
Yeah. And like I know that a lot of people tend to play with their friends and like sometimes friends can be assholes. You're allowed to hold them to it. And you're also allowed to leave the room when they're being dicks. Like you're allowed to just be like, "Well, I'm not having fun. Screw you guys. I'm going home."
I mean, but what would you say to people who say like, "Oh, but I'm ruining the fun for everyone else, so I'm just gonna sit and keep the peace"?
No. Are you keeping the peace or are you just keeping your silence? Because what peace is it if you have no peace? Take that peace in your
I
mind.
that made no sense.
Shut up.
But I think what you're trying to say is that like, the yeah, the peace, keeping the peace in the sense is not really you're not really keeping the peace. You're being silent,
Yeah.
right? There's um because you're just kind of sitting there and you're being uncomfortable and there isn't really peace. There's just this kind of tension that maybe only you feel, but it's still there.
Yeah, like what I'm trying to say is
Hmm.
it's not peace if you are not at peace.
Yeah. And honestly, a lot of the times, what's happened is, hey, sometimes, you know what? I've been that guy who offended people. I know.
How dare you?
And people have brought it up to me, and I've always been thankful for that, right?
Good.
Like from the perspective of someone who was the asshole, like I've always been thankful, being like, thank you for letting me know you're not okay with this. I am going to, as long as I'm with you, I am not going to do that.
This is also an out of RPG thing because
This is just good life.
this
This is
is
how you
this
manage
is
relationships.
this is good life advice. Don't let
Are we gonna
things
rechange the theme of the channel?
no, because we do not give good life
You just
advice.
spit into my new microphone.
I'll spit into something else.
Okay, get out of here. Um, yeah, I mean, and if they keep doing it, that's a toxic relationship, and you GTFO, or maybe you talk to the other players and you kick that person out.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other thing that is story of life, right?
There's a lot of things that you can do to there's a lot of things that you can do for damage control. What we're trying to do right here is to avoid all that. Like avoid breaking up friend groups, avoid having to be that guy that goes up to the player and is like, "Hey man, what you did today was not okay." And I need you to look yourself in the mirror and be better. No one can see what I'm doing, and I'm very
Dare to not use drugs.
yes. No one can see what I'm doing, but I'm very gently shaking him while I speak. I'm very funny.
Anyways, yeah, okay, master comedian.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, but to be fair, if it's a friend who just doesn't listen to things that make you uncomfortable, right? I'm
You're
sorry.
allowed
I'm okay being that guy that breaks up that friend group. Sue me.
you're allowed okay, you should mention that you mean that as in you will confront the person and not be the guy that just refuses to stop making people uncomfortable.
Yes, that one.
Okay. No, you can't just say yes that one when I give two options.
Yeah. I guess you're right. My
Guys,
bad.
guys.
So, yeah,
He
that's
he continues to dig his grave.
that's kind of the main discussion we had. That's kind of the main points we had for the safety tools.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I guess something else I did want to discuss a bit was, you know, uh, it's very. I just want to kind of like a meta discussion. Like it's kind of strange that things like D&D, like we don't feel the need to talk about boundaries with things like D&D, in which you're
Mm-hmm.
doing like acts of violence to people, like you're smashing with hammers and you're cutting with swords and
You set a man on fire. You go Ignis, and he is set on fire, and he's dying,
and
and
he's
you
yeah.
did that, and you're just like, well,
Yeah.
loot the body.
I mean, I guess there could be different groups with like, oh, I don't want people that like,
I
I
don't
don't
want
want
to
to describe the smell while he's burning, right?
real.
Or things like that.
I feel like not a lot of people also do that. You're just like, you cast it. Congrats, he dead.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
gotta loot the
mean, it
body.
depends on how like vicious you want your D&D
Yeah.
game to be. But
You
like, it's strange because like by default, that's not really a thing. You like in the breeding story game. I hate that I have to keep mentioning it like that, but Adventures League, you just sit down for a game, and then where combat is the main thing,
mm-hmm.
right? And other sort of things that happen in a fantasy world, like forced shapeshifting and things like that, like stuff from myth.
Polymorph you into a sheep.
Exactly, things like that, I guess. And you just kind of are
You
okay
just
with it, yeah.
you just chill with it sometimes until it's not. Because I feel like with that kind of stuff, it's like there's a fantastical element to it. Because it's the difference between like a kids show showing woo magic turn you into a bat, haha, oh no, you're stuck, and that's a whole episode
I mean, like
versus
cartoons are also like if you watch like Avengers or something like that, it's the difference between Captain America. Oh yeah, I punch you with my shield,
yeah,
right? And you get
and
knocked out
and the
versus
Punisher going, I'm going to beat you to death with my fist. I know the Punisher uses guns. Don't come at me. I know. I'm aware.
yeah. So, I mean, but it's kind of strange where you just like sit in for a game of D&D and it's like, oh, by the way, this is fine. But then I want to contrast that with a game that we're both very familiar with and we keep mentioning here. I guess some Delta Green or VTM or Vampire the Masquerade, where it's very, they say, and even in the books, they say, make sure to have these discussions with your players.
Yeah, because I feel like it's more of like in a realistic sense because Vampire the Masquerade takes place in modern day. You're not just like you're not in the Feywild where after your adventure you go for mead. You were a person like 3 hours ago. You are changed beyond recognition in your
Yeah.
mind and you're going to a nightclub to drown your sorrows.
Yeah, and there's also like very scary things within that. Like now you don't have control of yourself fully anymore,
Yeah,
which can be a very real topic for some people. And like the
exactly.
fact that it's set against this reality kind of makes it feel more real and kind of makes it yeah, feel more real and it just kind of it's just easier to relate to, which is kind of scary, right?
Yeah, it's the difference between like Resident Evil and SCP.
Yeah, because SCP, the idea is that it's real,
Yeah,
right?
like to this day, I'm horrified of 097. Am I? Is that the right one?
I don't know.
Chad, is that the
They're all
right one?
scary. Let's just say they're all scary.
No, not all of them. 999 is my baby. He's a little guy. He's a little fella.
Yeah, sure.
I'm the SCP nerd, and it's pissing me off that I don't know if I got Shy Guy's number
I guess
right.
you're not a real SCP nerd.
Okay, the one who reads only the scary ones and doesn't remember any of the numbers after.
Listen,
You know, he doesn't even
yeah.
deny it. Doesn't
Well,
deny it. Doesn't.
anyways,
Guys, beat him up. Beat him up
but
in the
any,
comments.
but anyways, yeah. For I mean, this is not us endorsing. Be like, oh, our game's not in a real life, realistic setting.
Yeah.
We'll do what we want. Like, this is not us endorsing that at
Yeah.
all.
No, 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 no. Guys, we're silly. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
But just want to have a discussion because I mean, I guess something else that it fits is like the genre of the game. I feel like is also important as well.
Yeah.
In D&D, it's like
Fantasy.
indeed it's fantasy, right? Like
Yeah.
I mean, but also it's kind of open in the sense of it could be fantasy, high fantasy, where magic's everywhere and like
Oh, joy. Pixies.
yeah, and things like that. Or it could be low fantasy, like gritty, like Witcher, or give me another example. That's not the Game of Thrones because I've used that like 5 times.
I can't. Okay, so I have. There's a book that I have that's based on like fairy tales, but it's also like urban thriller where like pixie dust is used like cocaine.
Sure,
What do you mean, sure?
sure.
This is just a book I
It's
have.
just a book
I
you have.
can't remember the name of it. I don't remember anything about it other than Snow White was like either a principal or like a police officer. And like there was a
Yeah.
whole drug cartel going on with fairies, and the main character was a werewolf. Like on all levels except like
Moving on, because I feel like this is going to be a whole rabbit hole. I'm just going to get a rope and like pull you up from this rabbit hole
the autism rant has to
you
have a
put us
pin
on.
in it.
I know. Um, yeah. I mean, genre is important, and I feel like especially if you talk with your group and set like things for that genre,
Yeah.
you're gonna get the group who you want,
Yeah.
right, for the game,
Hmm.
and they're all gonna be like they're all gonna agree on the genre, or they're
Yeah.
gonna be okay with it at least,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, that's again another reason why these kind of safety rules are important. They set the kind of theme of the game and making sure everyone's okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all we have to say on this. So what should the viewers be expecting in the near future? Well, not near future, near is relative, but
Okay, do you mean for the channel or
for the
like
channel, yeah. What sort of news is coming up?
okay, so the reason why these videos have been a little slow as of lately, one, because it's just me working on them, guys. Guys, be patient. It's just me.
Yep, I'm just sitting back. Yeah, I'm being a supervisor.
I know he sounds sarcastic. He is. He's he gives me the scripts and
And then I
goes,
just say, bye.
yeah,
Figure it out.
figure it out. But also, we got back from Gen Con not too long ago. And
And
while
what did we get at Gen Con?
we got a brand new game that I I'm very excited
Hmm.
and
Do you want to
very
keep it secret? I think it's pretty easy to tell.
mm, is it people don't some okay, people aren't.
You're so excited you can't even speak.
I am. I love the system. I love the setting. I love everything. I love the core book. The core book is so good. It's, I'm very happy. I'm very happy about it. Okay, so for those of you who aren't like,
Can we just say it?
I'm explaining like the whole lead up of it. Like for those of you who aren't familiar with like Critical Role question mark,
Critical Role.
yeah, like the
Well, now Critical Role is the
com-
show, and now the company is called Darrington Press.
yes, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, they've come out with a new RPG. It's called Daggerheart. We got to playtest a little bit at Gen Con, and oh my god, I've fallen in love with it. It's so good. Like the system is so nice. The class system is like really well laid out. It's very like clear cut, but also very open to interpretation. Like it's so good. It's so good.
You've read maybe like
I've
the
read
first 20 pages.
I'm barely I've barely opened the book and I'm deeply in love with it. The fact that you can play a the fact that the book has like has like reasons behind like certain like race aspects in like biology, like the fact that
Okay, you still haven't
okay,
explained the game is Daggerheart.
I've said the name.
Well, in case you haven't, the name is Daggerheart.
I've said the name.
Sure.
I'm gonna explain like one of the more well-known races across like uh
Hmm.
more fantasy dwarves. Uh, People have always been like, oh, dwarves are resilient, dwarves are strong. The reason why that's given in the book is because of the high keratin content in their skin and nails, which makes them significantly tougher than like other races, and it's really
So, as you
cool.
guys can see, we are very passionate about finishing up working on this next few videos.
Yeah, currently the one I have in like that's currently being animated, chopped up, whatever you want to say, because my ass is going
Yeah.
hard on it. I'm currently working on a very quick D&D video. How quick?
Yeah. By the way, this is being recorded before the D&D video is out.
Yes, and it will probably be uploaded before the D&D video is out, if I'm being honest with you. But also, and hear me out, 20 minutes being our quick video is kind of long.
True, but also D&D is quite involved as well.
Well, yes,
Well, anyways,
tee
if I can get you in a bit of trouble, maybe with our audience, do you? Yeah, but it's a little more casual since it's the podcast.
being mean
D
to
and
me.
D or Daggerheart?
Daggerheart.
You've read the first 20 pages. That's
Yes,
crazy.
we
Well,
play
we
test.
played it. We also play tested it. That's true.
We play tested it at Gen Con. If you didn't know, Gen Con,
It's a board game convention,
thank you.
and that's where we tried the tabletop role playing convention as well.
Uh,
And what else are we gonna say? Oh yeah, Daggerheart or Vampire the Masquerade. And I'm gonna put you in a bunch of trouble. Two completely different games, and I'm gonna have to ask you to choose. Well, you can sleep on it. You don't have to decide just at this second. Now I'm gonna put you and yourself in trouble. So yeah, that's
no,
been
you're mean to me. You're mean to
no.
me. No, you're
That's
mean
how
to
we're gonna end it off. Me being
mean,
mean to you.
mean to me.
Yeah, that's pretty much on brand for us.
Mean to me.
So that's been the games cabinet.
That has been the games cabinet with the new games on the shelves and a video on the cutting table. I am trying my best to get that out as soon as humanly possible.
And also just a look into what we're doing in the future.
Yeah.
All right, so happy gaming, stay safe, and
See you on the battle mats, Nation nerds.